All right. So you know how we love to like dig into stuff that can help us all like learn and grow and all that?
Yeah, definitely.
So today we're going to do a deep dive on this thing called Seishinkan.
Okay.
Have you heard of this?
I have heard of it,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So for our listeners out there who maybe haven't heard of it, it's basically this system that kind of combines self-defense and self-improvement. So it's like
Interesting.
martial arts, but with a philosophical twist.
Yeah, and I think what makes it really unique is it's not like about rigid forms or dogma. It's kind of
Yeah,
a
right.
constantly evolving philosophy, so it's adapting to like the modern world while still honoring its roots.
Okay, so like two sides of the same coin here. We've got skills of self-protection, which I guess they would call like the Jitsu.
Right.
And then there's this whole other side, skills of self-improvement, which is the Do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Jitsu part is pretty self-explanatory, right? You're learning these practical self-defense techniques,
Yeah.
but this Do aspect
Yeah,
is,
what is that?
what does that mean?
That's a good question. It's not just like meditation or,
Yeah.
just general character building like a lot of
Mhm.
systems would have. It's about cultivating a specific mindset in Seishinkan.
Right.
And you could kind of think of it as developing mushin, which translates to no mind.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's this idea of like being present, adaptable, and being able to respond effectively in any situation.
Mushin no mind. Is that kind of like when you're in the zone and
Yeah.
things are just
Yeah.
effortless?
Yeah, you're already connecting it to like your own experience.
Yeah.
And so in Seishinkan, cultivating mushin involves like mindfulness exercises and ethical discussions,
Ah,
even community service. Like
yeah.
it's about developing your whole self, not just the physical skills.
It's interesting, but like, how is that different than any other personal growth practice outside of martial arts?
Well, it's the integration of those practices with the physical training. So
Yeah.
Seishinkan recognizes that like true self-mastery
Right.
requires both inner and outer strength, so they kind of complement and reinforce each other.
So it's holistic. It's like the whole package.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So we're seeing there's this idea of challenging tradition to make it relevant today, right?
Yeah.
And we've got a quote here that really kind of sums that up. And I love this quote. It says, "Tradition is living your life in a way that pleases dead people."
Uh-huh.
Pretty bold statement, right?
Right, it's a reminder to like question assumptions and not just blindly follow what's been done before.
Right.
Seishinkan really encourages you to take the wisdom of the past and like apply it in a way that makes sense for like your life today.
So how does that actually play out? Like, what's an example of a traditional Seishinkan technique being adapted for the modern world?
So there's this breathing technique called ibuki,
Ibuki,
and it was originally used to like calm your nerves before battle, right?
right, before you go fight.
But now practitioners might use it to manage stress before like a big presentation or during a challenging conversation.
Oh, interesting.
Same principle, different context.
Yeah, that's a great example. It's like taking the essence of the technique
Yeah,
and making it your own.
totally.
Reminds me of that Matsuo Bosch quote.
Oh, yeah.
Do not seek to follow in the footsteps of the wise. Seek what they sought.
Exactly.
So Seishinkan is about like finding your own path within this framework.
Yeah, you're given the tools, but you're encouraged to explore and discover what works best for you.
Love that. So speaking of tools, let's talk about the physical training. Like what kind of techniques
Yeah.
are unique to Seishinkan?
Well, one thing that's interesting is the emphasis on like natural movement and adaptability.
Okay.
So, there are traditional strikes, blocks, and throws, but they're not taught as rigid forms. You're encouraged to kind of flow between techniques, adapting to your opponent's movements and the environment.
So it's less about memorizing a set of moves and more about developing a responsive, adaptable approach.
Exactly. And that translates really well to real life situations because, just like you wouldn't react the same way to every challenge, Seishinkan teaches you to kind of assess the situation and respond accordingly.
That's really insightful. It makes me think about how often we try to like force things to fit into this predetermined mold
Yeah.
instead of like adapting our approach.
Totally.
Maybe that's something we can all learn from Seishinkan.
I think so.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm curious, if Seishinkan is encouraging us to evolve and find our own path,
Yeah.
how can we apply this philosophy to other areas of our lives?
That's the question, right?
Yeah, think about your work, your relationships, your personal growth journey. What could it look like to embrace this blend of tradition and innovation
Yeah.
in those areas? Something to ponder.
Definitely something to think about.
Right. That's it for this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.
See ya. Bye. Bye.